Hello, everyone. Brooks Kubik here, and I wanted to talk with you about the June 2022 issue of the Dinosaur Files Strength Training and Muscle Building Newsletter. Specifically, I wanted to go through the contents and give you an idea of what's in the newsletter this month and what you can look forward to reading when you purchase an issue. So we're starting out with a mass building program for older men. Now, this is a mass building program, and by mass building, I mean building muscle mass, not getting big for the sake of weighing more on the scales, because that means you're getting fat as opposed to building muscle. I'm talking about a program that's building solid muscle tissue, muscle mass. Now, it's a program, as I said, that is designed for older trainees, but it also, of course, works great for trainees of any age. But it addresses one of the problems that older trainees have, and that's this. Pay attention, because this is a biggie. Older trainees often have joint injuries, dings, dents, aches, pains, a reduced range of motion that affects their ability to do certain exercises. And the long and the short of it is, even though they want to train really heavy and they want to slam those weights up and down like they did when they were younger, they just can't do it. Or if they do it, what happens is they end up hurting their joints, they end up getting sore, they end up getting stiff, they never recover from their workouts, and they're just not able to trigger gains in strength and muscle mass without having these other problems. So what do you do if you're 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, and you want to keep on training, you want to keep up, keep your muscle mass up, you want to either build or at least maintain your muscle mass? What do? Well, one of the things that you can do is look back to old school, old-fashioned, drug-free bodybuilding and start doing specialized muscle mass building workouts that allow you to trigger gains in strength and muscle mass without impacting negatively on your joints. So that's what we do in the first article. It's interesting too, even though it's an old school bodybuilding program, it's not a super high volume marathon training program. You're not going to be in the gym 2 or 3 hours a day. I've split it up into 2 workouts. You can change that if you want. You can even split it up into more workouts. But basically, it's an upper body, lower body program. The upper body workout will take about 1 hour to 90 minutes, probably about 1 hour and 15 minutes. And the lower body workout will take about 45 minutes, maybe if you go a little bit slower, as much as 50 or 60 minutes. But they're not long programs. They are, however, effective programs. So that's the first one. And that's something that, again, if you're an older trainee and you're trying to think, how do I hold on to the muscle that I've built up over the years? How do I add to it? This is a really good program to do exactly that. The next program in the article is one that deals with knee rehabilitation. It's written by one of our longtime dinos, a man who actually subscribes to the Dinosaur Files. So, you can tell he knows that it's good information and he enjoys reading it. It's an article about his teenage daughter who was a champion pole vaulter. She hurt her knee at the end of her junior year in high school. And he worked with her very methodically, very systematically to strengthen and rebuild her knee after the knee injury and the surgery. And she has come back now literally stronger and better than before, because even though she was the #1 ranked pole vaulter in her district last year before the injury, she has since increased her pole vault by 1 foot. Okay, that's post-injury. So that's pretty good. And what he did for the rehab, he integrated a number of old school training methods, did some very interesting things with the old York Iron Boot program, did a lot of other things, including some more modern training techniques. He put them all together, and he laid out a really, really good program for her. it's actually something that you could use for a leg training program. It's something that you can use if you ever have a knee injury or knee surgery and you have to work your way back from it, or if you know someone who's in that situation, or if you train someone who's in that situation. And it's also just a good program for building strong knee joints. I mean, it's a knee building, knee strengthening program. So that's the second article, and I think that that will be very valuable and useful. The third article in this month's issue describes one of my current leg training workouts. I'm doing a lot of upper body days and lower body days, and I do a lot of different things in my lower body days. I've been writing about that in the Dino Files. And this particular workout was 2 exercises, back to back, nonstop for 30 minutes. And I'm telling you what, it just absolutely fried my legs. Nonstop, 30 minutes, back and forth, one to the other. Read all about it, and this is something that you can do at home, at the gym, minimum equipment needed. You can go outside, do it in the park, or do it at the beach, do it wherever you want. Have a lot of fun with it, build a lot of muscle, build a lot of strength. After that, we cover something that's not as much fun as sets and reps, but it's pretty important. Resistance band safety tips. I've been doing a lot of interesting things this year with resistance bands. I've been writing about it, and one thing that I want everybody to be aware of is you need to be very careful, because resistance bands used improperly or overused, overstretched, or left out in the sun or left out in the cold, they can get brittle and they can break, they can snap on you. You need to be very aware of that when you're doing anything with resistance bands. And there are probably some exercises you don't want to do, just because if a band snaps, it's going to hit you right in the face, possibly in the eye. So we talk about those issues, and we talk about some ways to make your band training a lot more, a lot safer, and avoid the remote but potentially catastrophic risk of an injury from resistance bands. The next article covers an exercise that I've been doing an awful lot of for the last couple of months. It's the body row. And you may think, body row, basic exercise, I'm advanced, I've been training forever, I don't need to do them, I do other stuff. Well, there's body rows and there's body rows, and there's different ways to do them. And I guarantee that if you read this article that features the basic body row and how to perform it the right way, the exact way, the precise way, the way that triggers the most gains in strength and muscle mass all through the upper back and shoulders, and then you read about the 7 variations of basic body row and you implement them and you start doing them, you are going to find yourself putting on some serious muscle mass all through your upper back, particularly the scapula area, your lats, your traps, your shoulders, entire shoulder girdle, as well as the arms and shoulders. I said shoulders already, so as well as the arms and the forearms. And I think you're really going to enjoy doing these exercises, working through the progressions on them, and developing a really elite level of pulling power in the upper body. I'm going to mention, by the way, that you can do those pretty much on any kind of bar, a horizontal bar. That you can use a barbell and a power rack to do these. The other thing that you can do is buy yourself a set of rings and use the rings hanging from the top of your power rack, or the top of any strong overhead bar, and you can do some seriously good training with those. They're completely adjustable. You can change the height in a minute or less, 30 seconds, 15 seconds if you're really fast. And they give you all kinds of training options that you can use with these exercises. So that's something that I've started doing, and I'm having tons of fun with it and getting really good results. They're very, very highly recommended. So after that, we're going into an article about what I refer to as high intensity isometric strength training. Now, we all know about the 6-second style of isometrics from the 60s and 70s. Some people got great results with that, others not so much. Some people, no results at all. And that led to a lot of us thinking, isometrics, maybe they're not that good, maybe they don't work. Well, that's what I thought for a long time. And then, as the result of an unusual set of circumstances and COVID hitting and gyms being closed, not having a power rack, not being able to do squats with a heavy barbell safely because I didn't have a power rack, I had to find some other ways to train my legs. I started to look into isometric training, and I ended up doing 18 months of nothing but isometric training. And I found that the modern versions of isometric training worked incredibly well for me. They were extremely effective. So that said, I've been on the lookout for good articles on isometric training in the Dino Files. I've written a number of them myself, but I've also solicited the readers to send in articles and workout reports that talk about isometric workouts. And we got a great one from one of our longtime dinos, Peter Jensen. This is a wonderful article. It's a two-part series. And this is a really interesting take on isometrics. Peter is doing a variety of different kinds of isometrics. In the first article in the June issue, he covers some things he learned from Steve Justa, the Iowa strongman. Very interesting stuff, very different than your typical isometric training, very effective, lots of fun. And in the July issue, which will be out probably in about 10 days, 14 days, Peter's going to give us part 2 of the article. In fact, I just proofread and edited it yesterday for the July issue. It's a really good article. Be looking forward to that one. But start out with the June issue. Read part 1 of Peter's article because it lays the foundation for what you'll be reading in July. It's really good, really effective. And the interesting thing is, he's in his mid-40s now. He's getting stronger than ever. And that's after a lifetime of serious strength training, serious physical conditioning, military conditioning, working in the elite units in the police, martial arts training, everything. He is getting stronger and he's building more muscle and getting more muscular than ever before in his mid-40s. So pretty interesting stuff, pretty useful, and I think, good stuff for everybody. We follow that with a simple conditioning program used by one of our 84-year-old dinosaurs. Yeah, I said 84, 84, as in this is a man who's been training since he was about 14 or 15 years old. That makes 70 years of training. He's still training in his home gym. And he talks in this article about a very simple program that he uses that combines weight training, body weight training, and some other things for short, simple, fast conditioning. Keeps him in great shape, and it's tons of fun, and he really enjoys doing it. And after that, talking about strength and conditioning, we're going to finish up with an article answering all the questions I got from readers about step-up training. I covered my step-up training workouts in the May issue of the Dinosaur Files. Got a big response on that. People really enjoyed it. They had tons of questions. And so what I did was I put together an article that collected all of those questions and then answered them. So you have that article combined with the original article in the May issue gives you a comprehensive 2-part overview of how to work the step up into your training for maximum gains, very fast gains in both strength, lower body muscle mass, and really superb elite level conditioning. So that's a winner, I think. In fact, to tell the truth, I think the whole issue is a winner. And if I sound excited about it, guess what? It's because I am. I believe very, very strongly in the value of a monthly strength training magazine. I work really hard to put a really good one together for you. And tell you what, check it out, give it a shot, give the programs a shot. I think you're really going to like them. Thanks much. Take care.